Hey people, I got y'all some pure gold today. The wear is in. Sam says the gold it has the go in it. In Arabic, gold is dahab. That's the da and the EB or EV zev, the same letters. And he goes in is also, dahab, written the same exact letters. So I'm going to define a bunch of these terms here, show you where they come from, and get a better idea of what this mercy seat is, and a lot better definition to this cherubim, which they write two different ways. Sometimes it's chair and sometimes it's care. You see it come up down here, it has the dot in the ka, and so they say that means a rich ka, as in K-E. And here it's written without it, and they say it means cha, C-H, the chair of. So I'm going to start with this mercy seat. They say this dot in this ka means it's a sharp K sound, ka. And the same as the dot in the P, they say it gives it a sharp P sound. Because sometimes it's an F, and the K is sometimes a CH. My analytical mind, just doesn't let me believe that. And from reading all this, it just doesn't fit. If I was going to write a K, I would just write the K. And if I wanted it to have a different sound, like a ch, then I might add a dot to it to let people know this is a ch and not a K. And I'm pretty sure they got this K and ch backwards. And the same as this P and F backwards. But, the cover it. You see they added the here. It's just not here. If you come down, you see it again here with the in front of it. The cover it. And if we go to this word, they'll say it's used 25 times like this, and once each without the E on front of it. It's always the mercy seat. But the first time we see this word come up is in Genesis 6 in the building of the ark, and cover it, and with pitch in cover, KPR, they'll get it in cover, give that P an F because it doesn't have the dot. And they say it only comes up one time here. The same as this, it doesn't have the dot in it, so now it's to choffer it, but I believe that's the K, the KP, the cover it, the cuport, P-R-T, a port, is a hole, and to give the port, is to cover over it. And so it comes up many more times, 104 times, and mostly this way of cover, to make atonement, to make a cover story for yourself of cover. I was at work. No, I was at work all night. I wasn't playing poker with the boys. And so this letter on the end is T. It means a seal. The cover seal. To fix, F-X-W-T. To fix what the cover seal. And so this became known as the mercy seat. And so back in the day, the kings, all the high-class people, the people that would have been writing and reading this, all of their wives come from the finishing schools in France. Merci. Because it's well known that France always had the best finishing schools for women. To teach them of the upper-class cultural rights. With classes primarily on the deportment and etiquette. And so when they got tired of telling you to raise and lower the seat, they would just write a sign on there, merci, thank you. And it's to remind you to raise the seat, to lower the seat, merci. Say inferior, siege, merci. The lower, that's where that come from, the inferior. Inferior is the lower, siege, the surrounding siege. To lower the seat, merci. To fix what the cover seal, K-F-R, cover seal, the mercy seat. And so you can see it here. This one's the closest to the truth here. It's the mercy seat is where the cover seal's at. Where seal the cover up so we don't smell it. And so the majority of the people interpreting this, they have no clue what they're reading. So this of gold pure, I showed in that last movie, ancient Pyrex. You really don't want to miss it. I got my best like ratio on it yet. And I read these first 2 lines and some other things in there. But the ZE is or this. Look it up, ZE in the Hebrew, and they say it means this, that, or is. And this in, be is in, this in, and this is there, and it's the tet as in collect, and then where, and this means where, as the ancient city of that means the place where, where it's happening, New York, where the town that never sleeps, the where. And so this is this in there. And it's meant to be pronounced with a rolling of your eyes and a pointing to the object. Is in there. Roll your eyes over the top of your head. And so where this came is to gold is in there. And this is the chapter, this is the whole reason that this has became meaning to gold. But back when I was in the Navy, we would color code. We had pipes running all through the ship, and we would color code all of them so we knew what was what, and the potable water, the drinking water, it was blue. It was clean. And the sewage, we painted that line gold so we knew if you open that cap, you're going to get shitted on. Sewage is gold, is in there. And so maybe on the boat you used to paint all your shit containers gold, so if somebody robbed you, they would think, oh, that's the pot of gold, and by the time they got home and cracked it open, they had a pot of shit. This from back in the 1970s, like it was created in 2017, but I don't know if they still use this color chart, but this is the way we colored, We had white pipes for steam. We knew that was dangerous. There's high pressure steam coming through there. Cut you in half. And the JP5 was the purple. This was highly flammable. And the CHT, shit, was gold. The sanitary flushing system. The drainage system. And this was salt water used to flush the toilets. Flushing the head and urinal. Is the CHT was gold, the shit. So this by no way means gold and pure. It means the tet is the collect, life where. And so this in collect life where. And so it totally depends on what you were talking about prior to this. But this is a collector. And you distill the vapors up and they go into this cooler with a water jacket on with these rings. It comes up through and it goes through all these rings to cool down, and then it goes into your collecting jar. The collect there, and you point at it and roll your eyes up into your head. And you can see, up here in 3, before it gets there, it goes through all these rings. The tablet rings, they call them. The rings. It goes through the rings. And he put the poles into the rings is to wive to, to match it up to wive to. In the tablet, through the rings of the ark. And then vows to see as, why as copper it is in there. So it doesn't mean gold and it doesn't mean pure. It just, if you're distilling what's in there, in the collector is where your pure product comes out at, the pure product. And so this cherubim, number 1 is this M on the end is never an M, it's an S. That's why they say M, the M is plural. It's because it's not an M, it's an S. You look at your letter chart and you see it looks more like an S than an M. This is the M, and this is called a final M. But when you look at all the final letters, the N and the final N, all they do is drop the tail down. The X and the final X, they just drop the tail down. Same as the P. Same as the cough. They just drop the tail down to make a final letter. But this looks a lot more like a S with the tail dropped than it does an M. And even in the cursive, this is the M, this is the final M. It looks much more like the S. So before y'all get to thinking I'm too crazy, I want you to know there's two base words for two in the Hebrew. Sometimes you're all shitty. This is S-H-T-Y, S-H-T-Y, shitty. You got to take a number one or a two. I'm all shitty. That's the polite way to say number two is shitty. And then there's shiny is also number two on the second day. That's the one you'll see in Genesis. On the second day it was shiny. It was a good day, it was shiny. But shitty is also a number two. So this is all written by alchemists, and they see everything goes on in the world as an alchemy process. And so they're making the poetry, and looking at something and describing it as alchemy of how they cook something up and the associations. And so this is his wise ass French wife telling him to stand a little closer, and how as bias to see, and it's chauffeur, C-H-F-R-T, chauffeur it, the one is bringing it. How is chauffeur it this in there? Mitem, mitem, which see the care, be a little more careful, which it, W-C-H and then T-S-I, which it see, and then backwards, the care. Mitem which it see the care, to aim, which it's search, which it's, T-S-I-R-C-H-B, to aim, which it's search be. And so, if you were in pitch black and you went to the bathroom, you would go to pee and you would wait to listen for that sound that was splashing water to, but everything else before you got there, you made a mess, If you was in Vietnam and you couldn't see your enemy in the trees, you're to aim, which it search be. You just start spraying the trees with gunfire until you hear a holler, and then, that's the aim, which search be, to find your target. She's being a wise ass, telling him that your little pecker ain't that long, stand a little closer, Vias, how as, to see, chauffeur it, to get it there, this in there, mitem, which it see the care, to aim, which its search be. And so this is with, because it's rich in, and you can tell when somebody's rich down south, they're usually fat. They're politicians, The rich in means more than enough. It's rich, it's fat. Your aim is a little rich, it's spraying wide. Who as shine the care of is this in. Who has got to clean up your mess. From fishes matter, missing, fix what, each, E-C-H-F-R-T, each fart. To see the shine care of is this in, the one that has to clean the mess. From fish house, from fish house matter, backwards, MTA. What fish house matter is a vicious odor. And so he's kind of playing with words. Vicious was spelt with a V, but it's a poet, and he's trying to give the reader an experience here, from fish house matter. The missing, the messing, the fix what, each fart. And then we'll see this care of spelled many different ways, and it's because it's never the same word. And so This has the dot in it, and they say this is a sharp K, and they might be right, but for the way I'm reading, it fits better if this one is the chair of. CHRUV. The chair of Da. And this is from day one. It's here, and it's, the roof in Forjas Da. Reads backwards. And a lot of people are reading this ahead, and that's why we call the bathroom on the boat ahead. But it's actually ditch. D-C-H-A. Ditcha. And it's actually ancient Greek, and it means in two parts. On the day one, you divide the day from the light from the dark, the day from the night, in two parts. You cut a ditch down the center, to divide the land in two parts. From the Greek ditcha. So the chair of the ditch head, deck head, a deck head is everybody in one big compartment, the deck head, like a jailhouse toilet, everything wide open. The care of the deck head from fix them this, to care of the ditch had, to divide, the ditch had from fix them this. The men traffic, T-R-F-C-H. C-H is pronounced as chit or K, traffic. The men traffic each for to see. The men are coming by. They traffic each for to see to my burqa chair of is. My burqa. It's a V here. And so a burqa is the ancient word for your daughter, and it's also where the burqa comes from. Virch, the daughter of Virch. And so throughout the years, many words with the B and the V get mixed up because of the writing. A lot of writing didn't have the dot. But to my Verka, the chair of his mission, to fix to what to? Fix, FX or FTS fits. The fits to what to, as in connect something together. This is only one of these reads. This was the first Bible, and this came later. And it's the fix what to. But to is ancient name for a Celtic war god, T-I-W, to T-I-U. But it just means, my burqa to the mission to fix what to. And that's what it's talking about here. It's talking about installing rings to hang curtains between the women's stalls because they were all using the same bathroom. The wage to, this is, they give it and here, but all through, Genesis 1, when it says, and God said, let there be, and there was, they'll say this means, and there was. But it's the wage to the chair of is forsaken piss. Forsaken piss. I'm seeking a piss, I gotta go piss. Forsaken piss of mollusk kiss. Forsaken piss of mollusk kiss. And you would think a mole is underground and a hole is under. It makes you wonder where this above comes from. But this tells why in all those pictures that they show the wings touching. And so this is a mollusk kiss. You see in all the pictures they come up with mollusk kissing. Most of them, they're on a distance and reaching out from different places. They climbed up these cherry stems and reaching out to kiss. And it has more meaning to it. They're actually throwing a love dart is what it's called. The wage to the cherub is forsaken piss of mollusk kiss in canopy this. Not their wings, but in canopy this. All traffic the cover it is. Upon this sea seal, S-I-A-L-A, upon this seal which achieve, let roughage each fort, who place the cherub is. So these poles and these rings and all this, they got this all misunderstood. These poles and these rings went up here, and she would throw her burqa over here to get some privacy when she was in the bathroom. You can see that in this word here, it comes up many times. They always say it means brother. But yeah, and covered their wings over the mercy seat, and they faced one into another toward the mercy seat. And so that would mean the mercy seat is in between them. Upon this, the seal, to see all of which achieve, let roughage each for tie upon the cherub is. Roughage is that's this commune over here in France, close to the border of Italy, and their coat of arms is the queen on the throne with the diver down. It looks like, the diver down. So I had skipped a couple lines at the top, 3, 4, and 5, because they're really difficult to read and understand. And so I'm going to get to them. I'm going to go to this next, the table of showbread next. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it. And it was the last line of this that I read in that last movie. And I'll put this in the next movie. And y'all give me a thumbs up if you're interested in this. And then I'll go to this last, the lampstands. And that might take a couple movies to get through it. And then the altar of incense. Then I'm going to try to read this whole thing all in one and put it all in one place, and it'll make a lot more sense.
Don't forget, I won't forget.
Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.